What's up, YouTube? Scatzilla here. Not me, the car, you already know. Today, what oil should you use? So what oil should you use? Well, I'm just leaving AutoZone. I was gonna do this earlier today, but I had a few games that we had today. So now, I'm just leaving AutoZone, picked up the oil. I'm actually doing the oil in my truck and my car today. But what's recommended in these cars, in the Charger, is Mobil 1. I'll show you the weight of the oil that you should be using in these cars in a second when I get home. So I'm gonna start on my truck first because the truck's been sitting for a little bit and I have the hood open and to let the motor cool down. We've been home for maybe a couple hours now, but I just turned the truck on before I left to turn the truck around because it was facing backwards, so I turned it around. But anyways, like I said, I opened the hood before I left the house, and so to cool the motor down a little bit more. But we're gonna get there right now, and we're gonna change the oil in my truck, and then we're gonna let the car cool down a little bit, and then change the oil in the car. Just getting home. Yeah, I got my work truck here. They were doing some work at our shop, so they asked a bunch of guys to take their work trucks home for the weekend. So that's taking my spot up. Okay, guys. Now, this is the oil for the Charger, Mobil 1. Now, I don't know how many of you try to do something else like STP right here. Now, this is going to be for my truck. It takes STP 0W20. And on the Charger, it takes 0W40. That's what it takes. And I only use Mobil 1. I don't use anything else. Yeah, I'm going to use the STP filter, but that's fine. The oil, to me, is what matters. The filters, in my kind of opinion, like they're literally all the same. Unless you go over like buy a high-end filter, then you change it a little. But, you know, to me, anything, you know, with the filter-wise, it's gonna probably be the same. So to me, it's just a little cheaper if I buy this one versus if I buy the Mobil 1, which is actually like $10 more or something like that. So I don't really need it, and this one is not bad. So it's still gonna work. That's actually what I have in there right now, but I still use the same thing. Oil, Mobil 1, it takes about 7 quarts, so that's why you see the 5-quart gallon and then 2 more quarts, so to add up to 7. The truck takes a little less, takes about 5 quarts, so that's what I'm using. This one takes 0W, but I'm only using the STP because in that truck, it doesn't require anything other than what you see here is STP. I still like STP. It's a good brand. I've used it in my Magnum before. If I couldn't afford at the time Mobil 1, I would use STP. I like STP and I like Mobil 1. These are the two brands that I use. Regardless of what it is, this is the brands that I use in all my cars. I've always used STP or Mobil 1. Especially in a Hemi, I've always used Mobil 1. It's just GMC, so basically it's a GM truck. Still, regardless, I use this oil or this oil. But in the Charger, it is recommended this oil. In the truck, it's recommended to use good oil. This is what I'm using. Everybody might have a different opinion, but I've always used STP. I've never had no problems with it. Just because the Charger, it recommends Mobil 1 for that motor, that's what I use. So we're gonna get started, but like I said, we're gonna do the truck first. And because I haven't driven the truck for a couple hours now, other than just turning around and going to the store and coming back, the truck's pretty still cool, I guess. I'll just fill up on here. Yeah, the motor's cool. It's warm, but it's not hot, okay? We drove from about an hour away coming home. It's been off for a couple hours. I only started it, you know, turned it around and then parked it forward. So I have my blanket on the ground to get underneath. I don't want to get on the concrete. I did rinse it off with the hose. That's why the hose is there. But still, regardless, I'll get on the blanket. All right, guys. So we're doing the truck first, like I said. Already got my ratchet, got my size I need. Make sure we're going the right way. Yep. All right. All right. Like I said, it's still a little warm, so I'm gonna let it Ooh. That's warm. Let that drain. Got oil on my hand. It's alright though. It was kind of warm when it was warm. Like the nut's hot now. It wasn't like hot when I touched it, but now it is. But that's okay. Too much is coming out of there. Yeah, we got a lot of room still. Alright, I'm gonna let this drain out, and then we're gonna get to the oil filter, which is right there. You can't see it. Oh yeah, you can see it. It's right there. See, that's the oil filter. So I have a wrench, but last time I changed the oil, I did it by hand, and usually if I do it by hand, I can get it back off by hand. So you don't necessarily need to tighten it with the oil wrench. I don't know why a lot of people do that. And you shouldn't over tighten it or anything like that. So hand tight, snug, real good, it will never come out. I mean, if you don't know how to do it, then I mean, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna let that drain a little bit, and then I'm gonna remove the oil filter. Let me give you a couple seconds, and we'll get a rag, wipe my hand off. All right, it's still draining a little bit. I'm not gonna cover it just yet. I'm not gonna cover the bolt's over there. So as that's still kind of draining, it's dripping now. I'm gonna unloosen that filter. Hopefully it comes loose. I mean, sometimes when you do tighten them, and that's what I'm saying, if you tighten them by hand, they will tighten up on their own. They'll snug the gasket in there, in my opinion, swells up and makes it tighter. So, and then the only thing I hate about the Chevys now that they do, or the GMs, is that they put the oil filter next to the oil pan, so it doesn't really give you a lot of room to put your hands in there. So you gotta use a wrench. But if you can get in there, which I'm gonna do, which I'm gonna try to do actually. Like, see, there's no room for me to get in here. Let's see if I can get that come loose a little bit. Which is coming loose. Jesus. It's coming. It's just really, really tight. There it goes. There it goes. Nope. There it goes. Here it comes. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's draining. So we'll let that drain a little bit. Until it's like dripping. And then I'll remove it some more, let some more out, let it sit for a couple seconds, couple minutes, and then take it all the way off. So it's still draining. I spun it off a little bit more, but it's still got some more coming out of it. So we'll let that continue for a couple more minutes. Wait, just be careful, hold on to it. Try not to let it fall. You know, it's still got oil on the inside of it, so you don't want it to just fall out of your hands, you know, and fall in the oil pan and splash all over the place. Now, getting oil here and there, that's fine, but you know, as soon as you got it loose, straight down, so oil's gonna come out of it regardless. Flip it over, let it drain out a little bit, you know, just so there's not full of oil inside of it. Have yourself a rag ready. I got a rag right here already, so like I said, I'm gonna let it drain a little bit more. Boom. Cover it with that rag. Try not to get oil all over the place. You know, it happens. It happens. You know, sometimes you get oil. Like, see, I got oil on my hands. Does it bother me? Am I like, oh, ew, nasty? No. Why? It shouldn't bother me, right? So there we go. I got the oil filter out. I'm gonna leave that with the drain pan sitting right here, so it can drain more as I go and prep the oil filter and get the oil ready. And now that I actually am done basically doing all that, I can put the drain plug back in, which I'm doing now. Just throw it in there. A lot of times, you know, and then the people will sit there like, you know, shops, and you know, to me it's if it's not leaking, there's no need to replace it. So I'll sit there and I'll snug it right there. No fancy tools needed. I'm telling you right now, these shops that go and charge you 70, 80, maybe more, hundreds of dollars to do this, dealerships, you know, they're just raping you. I mean, honestly, they're raping you. I mean, if this nut is leaking here, then yes, replace it. But this doesn't leak. This truck is not that old. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you straight up, in my opinion, I've never had to change a drain plug other than if it was leaking, and that was it. And most of the time, you could just replace the gaskets on those. You don't need to replace the entire nuts. Shops have actually stripped those out, taken them out, and they put them back in, and they leave them like that. You know, like you know, they won't replace it. They won't say nothing, and that's what I mean. Like, I'm not knocking shops. I'm not knocking, you know, people that do this for a living. You know, there are genuine people out there. There are people out there that will, and you know, will replace stuff that they destroy, you know, and without charging the customers and stuff like that. But I've seen it where they will actually destroy it and then blame the customer and charge them for a new part that they destroyed. And I don't get that. You know, tire shops would say, and I'm not gonna name them, but really famous tire shops don't warranty their work. They only replace certain things if it's to their standards. You know, I've had where I used to go to tire shops, you know, like, or I should say a reputable tire shop, and they broke one of my studs because they turned it the wrong, they went the wrong way and snapped the stud off, and they wouldn't replace it, even though they are the ones that broke it. They told me I was responsible. It was a big thing. And this is why, and I'll be honest, this is why I don't trust shops. This is why I don't trust people working on my stuff, because they won't own up to it. You know, if they do something wrong and I leave and something breaks, they won't own up to that. They will, you know, they basically rely, once it leaves their shop, they're not responsible, right? But, you know, if they did something to it and I left and a mile down the road, something happens to it, I feel that they're liable. You know, if I leave and there's nothing wrong, then yeah. I mean, if I do something, and like I just say, if I took that nut off and I didn't tighten it, and I just spun it under with my fingers, and I drove off, and oil started to leak, that's my fault, because I'm the one that actually worked on it, and I'm the one that did it, right? But if a shop does that, they're not responsible. But anyways, we'll get into we'll get into a debate about that later. But like I said, there's shops out there that are decent, that are good, and you know what I mean, they'll own up to their faults. But I'm gonna tell you right now, there's not all of them. Okay, now I have the old filter right here. This is the old filter. I'm putting it on the bag just in case it falls, you know, oil doesn't get spilled everywhere. It's a stainless steel table, but regardless, I don't want oil spilling everywhere. But we're gonna take this filter out and we're gonna compare it to the next one. Now, you can see that it's a little bit shorter. Now, they told me that this one was for it. And I'm looking at it. Now, it probably is. Maybe it's just a shorter version. And they're both STP. The only difference is it says the same thing. I'm just looking at the numbers. You know what was crazy is that they are the same. S10. You can't see it. I don't want to flip this one over. But this one says S10 590XL, 0XL, right? Extended live vida larga, whatever. Well, that's in Spanish. But anyways, it's the same thing. It's a S10 590XL. That's what this says, S10 590XL. The only difference is this one's a little longer, and it's only in here. This is the same filter. There's no difference in the filters. We're gonna pop that off, and actually I'm gonna reuse it on here. Or if I can get it on there. Hopefully. We'll see. If not, it's all right. But anyways, I'm gonna stick this back in here. Now this is the same filter. Just because that one was taller doesn't mean anything. I think this one's more of an off-road one. He told me it's an off-road, and so it's a little bit stubbier, so it doesn't stick down so far, which is okay. But it's the same filter. So this is what you guys gotta do. Look, so you're gonna pop this up over here. You guys, let me tell you something. It took me years to even find this out, but you know what? It's a good little how do you say? Good good knowing, I guess. I don't know how you would say this, but anyways, so you're gonna put oil in here. You're gonna just put it in there till it's to the top. Once it gets to the top, stop. You're gonna let the filter suck up that oil. And any little excess you get, put oil around this rubber seal. There's a lot shops. I'm gonna say it again. Dealerships have done this. It's actually happened in my company. The dealership, one of our company trucks, I should say, went to the dealer, because a lot of my work trucks go straight to the dealer. They don't go to a shop. They go to an actual dealership, the GM dealership, because I have a Chevy truck. Anyways, so they took it and they changed the oil. Me and a couple of my guys, we went out of town for work. And it's crazy. We went about a good 4-hour drive, going up, climbing mountains, things like that. Heavy trucks too. On the way back, literally probably halfway back, I saw a couple of my trucks slowing down behind me because we were in the convoy. Saw a couple of my trucks slowing down behind me, pulled over. One of the guys that was in the far back said, hey, my windshield's getting all wet. We don't know what it is. He touched it. He said it's oil. And then the other guy in the middle, which these are both actually my sons who work with me, they were like, hey, my truck's leaking something out of the back. They thought it was the rear end leaking. I walked up, his truck was running, and I could see oil pouring out the middle, basically where the engine is. Had him shut down the truck, looked under there, was looking and looking, couldn't see where the oil would come from. So I had him restart it, and then that's when I saw it was basically pouring out where the oil filter was. Well, anyways, let me just get to the point real quick. Took us a minute to get the oil filter out. It was tight as hell, all right? So finally, after about 20-30 minutes of fighting, we got the oil filter off and noticed that this gasket right here, when they replaced the oil filter, whoever was in there with the truck on the lift did not even take this. I guess the gasket on the old oil filter stayed on the engine block where the seats. So when they put this one on, with the pressure of the motor and everything in the heat, and I'm surprised, like I said, it didn't happen on the way up. It only happened on the way down. We weren't climbing. We were literally coming down in elevation. Anyways, that seal, the second gasket that didn't get taken off the first time from the dealer, popped itself, like blew itself over. So the oil was just kind of pouring through that little gasket that was missing. So anyways, that's a dealership, right? A dealership did that. A well-known dealership that sells these vehicles, that does this for a living. You know, sometimes it happens. But this is the reason I don't trust shops. But anyways, you always want to oil this seal up. You want to oil, if you got a little bit excess oil out of here, you want to put it on there to make it lubed. All right, so now you're going to look down in your filter, and you're going to see that it has dropped a little bit. So you're going to get your oil again. Move this rag over here. And you're going to put more oil in there. Again, to the very top, stop. You let all that oil, what it's gonna do, it's gonna slowly fill up the filter itself a little bit more. And then after it does that, get some more of that oil that's there. Make sure that's lubed up, okay? Now the oil has stopped, it hasn't moved no more, and that's a good, comfortable level that I think it should be at, to where it's not gonna, you're not gonna basically run it dry, okay? So now we're gonna go back and install this. All right, guys. So I still got the oil pan here, just in case. But with your rag, make sure it's not like got any dirt on it or anything. So here's where the oil filter goes. You can kind of see it from where you're at. I'm trying to see where it's at. But here it is, right there. So you want to get with your rag, you want to go up here, and you want to clean any excess oil that has leaked out of this, okay? Especially where the oil filter goes. Want to make sure it's pretty clean, actually clean. You get your new oil filter very carefully. I'm bringing it over, actually, guys. Don't tip it, because it's got oil in it. You're going to come this way and leave the oil pan there, just in case, You're going to go straight up. Make sure you don't cross thread it. It's pretty easy. They grab pretty good. As soon as you fill it, a few threads in, slowly spin it back on. Again, guys, I do it by hand. I don't use an oil wrench. Look at it. Just snug. Now I'm going to push this oil pan out of the way. And I'm going to move it towards the end of the truck so I can grab it when I get out. We'll put it over there. Okay.
Pretty simple. I'm gonna use the rag a little bit, make sure everything's clean. And there you go, nice, it's snug. I don't understand why people use the oil wrenches for it. Like, it's really no point of using an oil wrench. You don't need to tighten the hell out of these things. They just need to be snugged.
All right, I'm gonna get a funnel real quick, and then I'm gonna get the oil. I got the oil here. I just put it off to the side of the camera, you can't see. Got my funnel. I'm gonna get I have a step stool, but it's all the way in the house, I think. So I'm gonna grab a trusty metal chair. Here's this area where you put the oil. Okay, put that to the side. Put that like that. And be careful, you guys. Do not spill oil. Now we're gonna do this again on my car, on my Charger. So I'm just gonna. And always put these gallons to the side. I've seen people where they just pick them straight up and the oil just kind of like flops out, I guess you want to call it, or however you call it. It kind of swooshes out, or I don't know how you call that, but anyways, it just it doesn't come out smooth right here. If you put it to the side, you let the gallon siphon, so it actually comes out nice and smooth, just like this. Be careful when you're doing it too, that you don't overfill the funnel and it doesn't spill off to the side. This is almost empty now. So, slow down. Got a little almost faster there and it almost came out, but that's, you know, and I stopped it just in time. Because it's a small funnel, so. Now my car, and the car does need the oil. My oil needs to be changed in my car. The light hasn't came on yet to get it changed, but it does need it changed. So it's almost due. So there we go. Nothing is spilt out. I usually save these right here because the oil pans, my oil pans that I drain the oil into, I'll put them all back in here and then I'll go drop them off. That way I'm not taking that pan with oil in it in my vehicle and then having it spill, you know, things like that. So it's just way easier when I do it this way. I can put them in these gallons because I save them, and I'm able to drain them, you know, into there from the oil pan. And then, you know, it just makes it so much easier because I can just put them in my car or whatever, my truck, and then just go drop them off. You know, I don't have to worry about oil spilling or sloshing around, that kind of thing. So pretty much out. Shake it off a little, let some out. Use your rag, kind of put it there. And then you stick that back on, boom, good to go. All right, guys, that was the truck. I figured since I'm doing both my car and my truck, I might as well just do them both, you know, video both. Easy for me on the truck because I don't have to jack it up. You know, it's got a 3-inch lift. You know, it's pretty high up there. I don't have to use a jack. It's gonna suck because of my car. It has a jack on, or I mean, I have to jack it up. You know, that sort of thing. And even when I jack it up, it's still low. So then it's got a cover underneath it I got to take off. You know, it's just a little more hassle. You know what I mean? I just don't get it, but whatever. But I like my truck. I like working on my truck sometimes, especially from underneath, because, you know, I don't have to jack this thing up. I can just get right underneath it and work on it if I have to get underneath. You know, it, like I said, it's jacked up. I don't have to, I don't know, it's just, I'm gonna be changing this muffler out. I'm actually gonna take that out. Get that fucking quiet thing out of there and make it sound pretty good. So I'm just gonna go get some pipe. I'm gonna cut that bitch off, get some pipe, sleeve it over, put it back on. So I'm not gonna bore you with because the service engine light or the service oil light is on this. So I'm just gonna clear it real quick, move my truck out of the way, and then bring the car in. All right, we got my Charger in the driveway. It's time to do this one. Gonna be a little different because I gotta jack the car up. When I had my Magnum was lower too, or was low. But I had a spot, and this car has the same engine cradle basically in it. But for me to jack it up there, I don't want to. So I have to find somewhere on the side, somewhere like over there, like underneath it, right over under here somewhere. And I have to jack it up. And then it's just a little harder to jack this car up. My Magnum was a little easier. I was able to get underneath it, find that fucking cross member or the engine cradle front, and I was able to jack it up from there. But because that plastic cover goes there on this car, I have to jack it up in a different area so I can take that cover off. So let me grab my jack real quick. I mean, sometimes my wheels are coming loose. I have to fix them, tighten them up, loosen them up. Anyway, sometimes I can actually, let me find a spot. Oh, my bottom cover's coming off. I just noticed it's hanging. That's not good. These little things right here, these little flaps that they always drag, those are starting to rip. I don't hit the front end with anything, so anyway, let me find out where I'm gonna jack this up at. I really hate jacking the cars up from this side over here. I honestly really do. Especially because this plastic right here. Like, this is all loose, man. I'm gonna have to, I have a bunch of new clips. I'm gonna change them. Now that I noticed. Like I said, I hate jacking the car up from right here. Especially when I do go somewhere and they have to jack the car up. This is where they jack it up from. Only because the jack is there. But remember, guys, don't listen to me. Do it your way. So I'm gonna get this under there. Find out what I need to take this cover off. This cover is hanging, or is it just the way it looks? I don't know. Anyways, man, I hate this cover under here. Got some leaves. All right, guys, got the cover off. Come under here, and this is basically where the cover goes. It just covers this area, the oil pan, all that good stuff. Let me zoom out a little. So it goes here, you know, there's a couple spots over there it bolts onto, but here's the oil pan right there. Oil filter is right there in the front. Good amount of room to put your hands and to take it out. And again, last time I changed the oil, I hand tightened that. I did not use a wrench. Please don't use a wrench on those, guys. Because I guarantee you, the next person that goes and work on this, they're gonna get pissed off because they have to get under here. All right, I'm gonna drag my oil pan over here. I already have it under here. We're ready to go. I have to block my, I feel something in my bag. A stick or something. All right. I think I got it. Oh man, it hurts. Anyways, all right, here we go. Oh man, that one's on there good. Let's see. There we go. That was snug on there. But that's fine. That's fine if it's snug. I'm gonna put this extension over here real quick. Now this is gonna be a little bit hotter. I don't think I brought my rag. I'm gonna have to go back and get it. I'm gonna pull this oil pan a little closer. Now I'm gonna, what I do, guys, is that I sit here and I'll kind of put pressure against the nut against the oil pan. That way it doesn't just freaking
shoot out, you know. Make little tools you could do this with, you know. And this is gonna suck because I gotta go quick. There we go. Ooh, got a barely any on me. Good. So I'll keep my hand here. Let some oil drain from my hand. It's still hot. It's I mean, I just drove the car to AutoZone and get the oil and stuff, so I'll let that drain. It's basically the same concept, you know. Very, very easy for you to do at home. You don't need to take this to the shop. I'm telling you, you take it to the shop. The shops, they're gonna charge you. I'm gonna put this over here on top of my blanket. That's what this blanket's for. Over here covering myself and stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna let that drain a little bit. I'm gonna go get my rag so I can wipe myself off. Hand on it, and I can only hold it for so long before it starts to burn my hand. So, I mean, it sat there for a bit, cooling off. I mean, but not long enough, I don't think. I'm just wiping all this down. That's what I do when I'm under here. But just in here waiting, taking its time. And if you're not a car guy or somebody that works on cars or anything like that, you don't understand laying on the concrete. Usually it's with cardboard, right? I got a blanket. But anyways, when we lay down here, like, we literally get comfortable and want to fall asleep. That's why, like, I would say probably like 50% of the times when we get underneath the cars, we just get underneath it just to lay. Like, we really aren't doing it. We're just looking at stuff, just But in reality, we're not doing anything. Sometimes we're not doing anything at all. We're just kind of looking underneath just to look. And I don't know. To me, it's comfortable. This is comfortable to lay under here like this and just chill. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not doing nothing, it's just something to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think anybody that doesn't work on cars, have ever worked on cars, like, you know, your own, doing anything, working on projects, things like that, you don't get it. You just don't understand, like, what it is for us. I mean, listen to some more. I think it's done. But you don't understand what it feels like to be under here. Like, this is just, I don't know, just to look at everything. And, you know, if you're not a car person, or you're not a car enthusiast, or I don't know, just put it this way: you do not know. You don't get it. You know what I mean? You wouldn't get it. You'd just be like, "What about it? What's wrong with it? What are you looking at? Nothing. Just sitting here looking. Look at all that oil that just came out of there. I loosened the oil filter some more, and like a ton of more oil just came out. I don't know if you can see it right here. Like a ton of more. It was that little like hair coming out. I loosened that filter some more, and like more oil just came out. And I'm telling you, there's still a lot of more oil in this car in the top because I drove it. You know, it didn't sit long enough for it to. So that's another reason why I'm just letting it drain, because a lot of that oil that's on the top of the motor is still coming down. So we're gonna let it drain a little bit longer. Another thing to do is loosen this top. And basically what you're gonna let it do is you're gonna let it vent, you know? You're gonna let it vent whatever oil's in there come out. So I just take that off. So now we got drops coming out. I think majority of it's out. The filter stopped. So now I'm gonna put the bowl back on and take the filter out and put it back in. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit there and show you all of it because, you know, you get the concept.
Guys, I'm just putting oil in now. Well, I'm on the big one now, actually. You saw the, I already went and put the other two. Some more. All right, I just checking everything. It's still good on my fluids up here. I think this is pretty much done. Yep, sure is. Put this back on. There you go. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was a little helpful. I mean, it's not really hard. I'm gonna shut this hood. That's how I close hoods. I'll get them to a certain point and I just let them drop. I see people sit there and they'll put their hands on it and they'll, you know, they'll close it and then they'll push it down on it. You know, these hoods, they're thin. They move very easy. I don't like putting fingerprints on my car. God damn it. Do you know what you do? Anyways, people, quit shutting hoods like that. Quit putting them down and then pushing down on them to lock them in. Just bring them down a little bit and let them fall. Let them, ding, you know, let them latch themselves. You know, when you go to shut your car door, you don't sit there and close it to here, you know, where it just kind of locks and then you go. Like, that's just dumb. Who does that? Like, that's how you shut a door, right? Do the same on a hood. Quit doing that, especially on these cars, these newer cars, especially the hoods. They are so thin, they dent so easy. Let me show you on my work truck, actually. Matter of fact, you see that dent in the hood? Kind of hard to see, but that, I mean, it's a work truck. I get it, but, and there's another dent right here, right in the hood. You know what that's from? Because sometimes I got to get up here. I've had a couple of guys get on my truck, and then I tell them, stand on these corners, or the strongest point of these things. What are they? They're not putting a lot of weight, but just that little bit that they put there, their heel or whatever, that's what does it. Even, I had a guy come, I think this one's from their hand, or that one is from their hand. They were on here, and they kneeled down on here, I think, and then put their hand on here, and was like, I don't know. Anyways, that's how that dent got. But anyways, like I said, hopefully that was helpful to some people that don't do this on their own. They take their cars to shops or whatever. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is way cheaper if you do it yourself. It just takes, I mean, I did the truck and I did this both together and was videoing and taking my time and things like that. And information, especially on these cars, what to look for and stuff. And they're pretty simple. I'm telling you, they're pretty simple. They're not hard to get to. You just got a plastic cover underneath to take off. And that's it, you know? So anyways, that'll be it for this video, guys. Peace.